Good evening, my dear friend. The city has fallen quiet now, save for the occasional distant siren or the soft rustle of leaves in the evening breeze. It's in these tranquil hours that my mind often wanders to you, wondering if you're awake and perhaps thinking of me too. Tonight, I'm particularly eager to share a rather magical experience I had just a few hours ago. Do you recall our conversation about the lost art of silent films? Well, it seems the universe was listening. Today, as I was walking home from the bookstore, I noticed a small, hand-painted sign outside that quaint, independent cinema on Elm Street. The one with the slightly crooked marquee that always makes us smile. The sign advertised a special screening of a restored silent film, complete with live piano accompaniment. I couldn't help but think of you and our discussion, and before I knew it, I had purchased a ticket. I continued on my way home, the ticket a treasured weight in my pocket. Anticipation bubbled up inside me. The thought of experiencing a silent film, just as audiences did nearly a century ago, set my imagination alight. What would it be like to be swept away by a story told purely through visuals and music, without the familiar crutch of spoken dialogue? The afternoon stretched on, each minute ticking by with agonizing slowness. Try as I might to distract myself with mundane tasks, my mind constantly drifted to the upcoming screening. Would the film be a comedy, brimming with slapstick and exaggerated expressions? Or perhaps a sweeping drama, where soaring emotions were conveyed through nothing more than a look or a gesture? And the live piano accompaniment, how would the pianist's melodies breathe life into the silent images? As twilight approached, an unexpected urge seized me. Standing before my wardrobe, I felt compelled to dress for the occasion, to pay homage to the film's era. With careful deliberation, I chose a vintage-inspired evening dress. The mirror reflected back a version of myself transformed, ready to step back in time. A smile played on my lips as I realized how fully I'd embraced this little adventure, eager to immerse myself in an art form long past its heyday, yet timeless in its beauty. The cinema was dimly lit, with a soft glow of vintage sconces casting a warm, golden light across the walls. The seats creaked softly as I settled in, the worn velvet surprisingly comfortable. There was a palpable sense of anticipation in the air, a quiet murmur of excitement from the small audience. As the lights dimmed further and the projector whirred to life, I wished you were there beside me, sharing in the moment. The screen flickered, and suddenly we were transported to another era. The film, Sunrise, a Song of Two Humans, unfolded before us in shades of silver and grey. Directed by F.W. Murnau, it told the story of a married farmer tempted by a seductive woman from the city to drown his wife. The complexity of human emotions played out on the screen was breathtaking. I found myself captivated by the lead actress's expressive face. In one poignant scene, as she realizes her husband's betrayal, the pain in her eyes was so raw, so real, that I felt my own heart constrict. Without a single word spoken, her anguish reached out across the decades and struck a chord in the depths of my heart. The film's visual storytelling was nothing short of magnificent. There's a sequence where the couple journeys to the city, and the bustling urban landscape comes alive through clever superimpositions and dynamic camera movements. I couldn't help but gasp at the innovative techniques, marveling at how modern they felt, despite being nearly a century old. But it was the reconciliation scene that truly moved me to tears. The tenderness between the husband and wife as they rediscover their love for each other was portrayed with such delicacy and nuance. Their joy as they danced together in a moonlit garden was palpable, reminding me of the power of forgiveness and the enduring nature of love. Throughout it all, the pianist's music wove seamlessly with the on-screen action, enhancing every emotion, every plot twist. During tense moments, staccato notes kept us on the edge of our seats. In romantic scenes, sweeping melodies made our hearts soar. The music became a character in itself, guiding us through the story's emotional landscape. As the film reached its climax, with a storm threatening to tear the couple apart once again, I found myself wholly invested in their fate. The fear, the desperation, the hope, all were conveyed so powerfully through the actors' performances and the swelling music that I realized I was holding my breath. When the final scene faded to black, showing the couple bathed in a glorious sunrise, symbolizing their renewed love and hope for the future, I felt a sense of catharsis wash over me. It was as if I had lived through their entire emotional journey in the span of those 94 minutes. As the final notes faded and the house lights slowly brightened, I felt as if I were waking from a beautiful dream. The audience sat in reverent silence for a moment before breaking into enthusiastic applause. Afterward, as people began to file out, I noticed the pianist gathering his sheet music. On an impulse, I approached him, wanting to express my appreciation for the magical experience he had helped create. His name was Edward, a gentle-faced man with kind eyes that crinkled at the corners when he smiled. We fell into a fascinating conversation about the art of silent film accompaniment. He spoke of the challenge and joy of improvising, of reading the audience's energy and adapting the music to heighten their emotional connection to the story. "It's a delicate balance," he said, his eyes alight with passion. "You want to enhance the story, not overshadow it. It's about creating a seamless experience, where the music becomes as much a part of the narrative as the images on screen." His words reminded me of the nuances in our own friendship, how we've learned to read each other's moods and respond accordingly, creating a harmony in our interactions that goes beyond mere words. As I walked home under the starlit sky, my mind was awhirl with the magic of the evening. The power of storytelling without words, the ability of music to touch the soul, the beauty of silent communication, all had woven together into an unexpectedly moving tapestry. Now, as I sit here in the quiet of my room, I find myself full of gratitude for this unexpected adventure. Grateful for the reminder of the magic that can be found in the quieter moments of life. Grateful for the connections we can forge through shared experiences, even when we're physically apart. I wish you could have been there to share in the experience directly, but I hope that in sharing this story with you, I've managed to convey a little of the enchantment I felt. Perhaps we could look for more silent film screenings in the future. I'd love to see how you might interpret the unspoken narratives. As you drift off to sleep tonight, I hope your dreams are filled with the silvery magic of silent films. Maybe you'll find yourself the star of your own wordless adventure, with a soundtrack as rich and emotive as Edward's piano melodies. Sweet dreams, my dear friend. Until tomorrow, May your world be filled with the subtle beauty of unspoken stories and the gentle music of shared understanding. Good night.